Hello, John Talley here with Partzilla.com. Today I'm going to show you how to bleed the front and rear brakes on our 2008 Kawasaki KLR 650. Pretty simple procedure, makes it a little bit easier if I lift it up. So let me get that done, grab a couple of tools, and I'll show you how to get it done. All right guys, this is going to be a skill level 1, so it's not going to be that tough. As far as the tools we need, for just the basics, all you need is a 10mm wrench, screwdriver, and a length of 3/16 hose. Now if you actually want to get this done quick, well, you're going to need to get one of these. It's called a Mighty Vac, and we actually sell those at Partzilla.com. So if you even are thinking about doing this to this vehicle and maybe some others, you want to go ahead and invest one of these. Definitely worth the money. Well, once you have these few things together and the brake fluid that we're going to need, we can get started. All right guys, I'm going to show you two different ways to actually do this, and we're going to start on the back. The first is just going to be what I call the manual method. So all we need to do is go ahead and take off this protective cover to where we can get to the reservoir, because we want to keep it topped off. We can start with the whole system, and completely drain it out, but I'd rather keep the system pretty much what they call intact. That way it doesn't introduce any air all the way through it. We're just going to flush the fluid back. So let's get that out of the way and go ahead and lift our cap. And then there's a upper nylon washer and then this little rubber seal. I can tell by looking at what's in the reservoir, I don't think this one's ever been bled out or flushed, because it is a dark brown, and when this stuff is brand new it has more of kind of an amber color, almost kind of like a gold color to it. So yeah, I can see it just stirring up some sediment in the bottom of that. So we're going to give this thing a really good flush through. All right, all we need is a 10mm box end wrench and then a length of 3/16 hose. Just put it over the end like that and let the other end go into your container. In my case, just using a oil pan. Got plenty of fluid up there, and here's how the procedure works. We're going to pump the brake pedal, hold it, and then open the valve maybe a quarter of a turn, and that's going to let fluid come out, and the brake pedal is actually going to go down and stop. When it stops, then you close the valve, bring the pedal back up, pump it back up, keep pressure on it, and then release the valve again. So let's do it. Got pressure on, open up the valve, and now it goes all the way down. Close the valve, pump it up, hold, open the valve. So we're just going to keep doing that. And that's really all there is to it. Now, if you did that enough times, you could actually pull all the fluid through. It would just take a while. So, I like doing things the faster way. So, I'm going to pull this off and go ahead and hook up our Mighty Vac, and then we're just going to draw it straight through. Now, the real trick is here, it's going to do it fairly quickly. So, we really need to keep an eye on that reservoir to make sure it doesn't go all the way down and then introduces air into the system. That's what we don't want. Got our hose in place. Now go ahead and turn this on. Open it up. Watch how fast that drops now. All right, stop. Isn't this a lot simpler? We're going to do it about 3 more times. And then we're going to set the level. All right, I've got the valve closed. I'm going to go ahead and pull the hose off to where it'll pull it through and go into the container. Now I can shut it off. take off the air. Go ahead and put our cap on. Now let's go ahead and set our level. Now here's the trick. If your brake pads were worn down, you would not want to take it all the way to that upper level, because when they're worn down, the pistons are pushed out, and therefore if you filled it all the way up, when you went to go put on the new brake pads, when you push the pistons back, it would make it overflow. But guess what? I already know that this one has on new brake pads, so I can go in and go to that upper level. And it's just right there. We can go ahead and take our rubber seal, that nylon top, and put on our cap. All right, with that set, let's go ahead and get our cover back on, and then we can move to the front. All right, before we get started, find a cloth or piece of plastic, something, and put it under your reservoir. Because you won't mean to, but chances are you're probably going to spill a little bit. And believe me, plastics, decals, and paint, they don't play well with brake fluid. So to open up the reservoir, you just have a couple of Phillips head screws, and it's basically set up the same way as that rear reservoir. You're going to have an outer cap and then this rubber diaphragm right there. Yeah, that's looking pretty dark in there as well. I don't see any sediment, so I think we're good to go ahead and flush it through. All right, let's go ahead and top it off right there. Then we'll go over and bleed. Right, it's set up just almost exactly like the back. Go ahead and get our 10 millimeter wrench on, 3/16 hose. And instead of actually pumping the brake pedal, we just grab the front brake and just squeeze it. Give it a couple of pumps, then hold, open it up. It'll collapse to the handlebar. Then you open it back up. And then close, pump, open, close. All right, like I said earlier, I'm a little impatient, so I'm going to hook up the Mighty Vac and go ahead and pull it through. Before we flip that on, let's go ahead and top off the reservoir, turn on the Mighty Vac, and let it rip. It pulls through really fast. So you definitely want to keep that topped off. All right, that should do it. All right, let's go ahead and get our level set. And actually, I'm really close to it. This thing's gonna take a tick. All right, there. Now we just need to put on a little rubber diaphragm with a upper cover, and then get our 2 Phillips screws back in place. And she's done. Well, all right, guys, that pretty much wraps this up. Listen, when should you go through the brake bleeding process? Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, at least do it once every year and or when you replace your brake pads. Why every year? Because brake fluid is what they call hydroscopic. That means that it attracts water. And the last thing you want to do is get water into your braking system. It would not be very kind to it. So, if you need any of the parts that we used, just the brake fluid itself, why don't you find us at Partzilla.com and we can get you taken care of. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them in the section below and I'll do my best to answer them. Until next time, we just want to say thanks for watching.